pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let the record show that all members of the City Council are present, with the exception of Councilman Morgan. There is a copy of the Open Meetings Act posted in the meeting room on the west wall and is accessible to members of the public at any time during the course of this meeting. First item on the agenda, it's my privilege to issue a proclamation to an organization that was established by the Nebraska Supreme Court. The proclamation reads as follows: whereas the Resolution Center is a nonprofit organization which seeks to transform the human experience of conflict by fostering a greater understanding through a mutually agreed upon solution. And whereas the Resolution Center, through the use of neutral third party, assist individuals in working together to obtain mutually acceptable solutions, serving as an alternative to the courts, as a means to resolving problems. And whereas in 1991, the Nebraska Legislature created the Office of Dispute Resolution within the Office of the State Court Administrator. The Resolution Center in Beatrice, Nebraska is one of the 6 Nebraska Supreme Court approved mediation centers serving 16 counties in southeast Nebraska. And whereas the Resolution Center provides mediation for families, businesses, civil, educational, and other disputes. The center also offers training in dispute resolution and negotiation skills and provides facilities for group decision-making. Now therefore, I, Stan Worth, Mayor of the City of Beatrice, do hereby recognize October 15th, 2015 as Conflict Resolution Day in the City of Beatrice. Witness my hand and official seal of the City of Beatrice this 5th day of October, 2015. And with us tonight is the Director of the Resolution Center, Addie Badio. Addie?
Thank you so much. This is wonderful.
If you would like to maybe say a few words?
Yes, first and foremost, thank you for inviting us and for this proclamation. We have been in Beatrice since 1993, working to resolve all conflicts as another means through the court system. We love our home here. We are trying to get out into the community and let more and more people know that we are available to do these works. So this is great. We're going to frame this and put this in our center, and hopefully we'll continue our good works. With us today is Sharon Schmidt. She's the office manager, and also Terry Kessler, who is on the board. So thank you for this. We really appreciate it. We love our home in Beatrice, and we'll continue to work with our citizens throughout southeast Nebraska.
Thank you, Addie. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to continue. I sure can. Okay. Dave Eskra, could you come up, please? And we'll open the Board of Public Works meeting at the same time. If you just set up there, maybe at that microphone, and go through yours. Okay.
Yeah, let's go through those two and would like to call a special Board of Public Works meeting this October 5th, 2015, 7 p.m. Let all know that all board members are present and accounted for. We have also noticed that the copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall here in the room and accessible to all the public. Number 2, the consent agenda. Go through this again, normal way. Okay. All items under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Public Works and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests. A, approval of agenda as submitted. B, receive and place on file all notices pertaining to this meeting, and C, receive and place on file all materials having any bearing on this meeting. With this said, I would entertain a motion from the board.
Moved by Moon, second by Bear.
Okay. That all items under the consent agenda, but with the exception of none, will be approved and accepted and ratified. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Now you can just sit back, and when we're ready for the exec session, we'll have you come back up and make a motion then.
All right.
This is just a little bit of an unusual process, but we're going to have a joint meeting later on in the meeting.
Yeah.
For the Beatrice City Council, item number 2, the consent agenda. Again, all items under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. First item is item A, approve agenda as submitted. Item B, receive and place on file all notices pertaining to the meeting. Item C, receive and place on file all materials having any bearing on this meeting. Item D, approval of minutes of regular meeting on September 28th, 2015, as on file in the city clerk's office. Item E, resolution 5823, approving the request from the Beatrice Area Chamber of Commerce and Gage County Tourism to close Highway 136, which is also known as Court Street, from 4th to 6th Street, and 5th Street from Perkins Street to High Street on December 3rd, 2015, between 5:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. for the Miracle on 5th Street Lighted Parade. And item F, approval of special designated license for Main Street Beatrice for the Governor's Pheasant Hunt fundraiser on November 6, 2015, from 4 p.m. until 12 a.m., and November 7th, 2015, from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. at 701 Court Street, Beatrice, Nebraska. Are there any items that any council member would like removed from the consent agenda?
Can I ask a question first before you pull it?
You may.
Is the intersection at 6th and Court as well, or are we just closing up to the intersection?
I believe it's just up to the intersection. Highway 77 will proceed through.
Mr. Claybaugh?
I will abstain from item F.
Okay. Is there any item that the general public would like removed from the consent agenda? Mr. Catlin?
Mayor, I move that all the items listed under the consent agenda be approved, accepted, and/or ratified as presented.
Been moved by Catlin, seconded by Bilsbach, that the items listed on the consent agenda be approved. Your vote, please. Are you going to abstain, Mr. Claybaugh? And that's approved, I'm sorry, you really don't need to, just that one item. So it's approved 7-0. There are no public hearings or bids. The next item is resolution number 5824, executing the letter of agreement for professional services with Olson Associates Incorporated to develop or to create and develop a 5-year strategic plan.
Mayor, I move that resolution number 5824 be passed and adopted.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Bilsbach, that resolution number 5824 be passed and adopted. Discussion.
As we had talked about previously, having the city prepare a strategic plan, we prepared an RFP, went out and ended up with, I believe, 7 responses to that RFP. From there, the committee got together, looked at it, and decided to interview 2 firms. From those firms, they are recommending that we proceed with Olson Associates prepare our strategic plan. In your package, what you see is the letter of agreement from Olson Associates. It's essentially a $25,000 fee, and they're estimating about 4 months to complete the process. Some of that will depend on how long it takes to arrange meetings with different groups around town.
Phil?
What is this 5-year strategic plan going to encompass? As I read through there, it doesn't say what the strategic plan is for. It just says strategic plan. Curious minds wants to know.
When we interviewed, both in the RFP and when we interviewed the firms, we made it very clear that we wanted a community-wide strategic plan. Engage was involved in it, the Main Street was involved, the Chamber was involved. They were all involved in both the interview process and when reviewing the the different proposals we received. So the idea is a community-wide strategic plan that each individual group has their own things to work on.
Ted?
Well, I'm all for it, but I'm inclined to vote against it because in my tenure here, we have failed to implement the plans that we paid for in the past. And, I mean, so very little of them we have implemented. I've brought sections of them, pieces of them here to this body to be voted on, and they've been soundly defeated because people in the community wouldn't like it, people on the council didn't care for it, this reason or that reason. So before I vote to spend any more money, I need to have some kind of assurance from management or this body, someone, that we're actually going to do it.
Well, you're certainly part of that decision-making process, Ted. This strategic plan is going to lay out not only what the community philosophy is and what the community wants completed, and it's going to be a community-wide effort. It's not just going to be us,
Right.
okay? There's going to be specific action plans set forth, and there's going to be timelines, and people are going to be held accountable for those timelines. And it is up to us to make sure that that is put into motion and stays very current.
Like you and I have had this conversation, Stan. This plan should be, we should implement it, and it should be open. This should be an open book at every work session. And what have we got done? So, I guess if putting a lot of pressure on you and your management style here, filtering down through the city, but if you're assuring me that whatever they say that we're actually going to try to implement it, then I'm for it. But I'm, before this, like I said, I've supported these in the past. I've brought pieces of them here for consideration, and I've gotten nowhere with it. So,
The only thing I would state, Ted, is in the past, I don't believe the city's ever had a strategic plan. I know we've done plans for different parts, but never a citywide comprehensive strategic plan. I don't know we've ever set priorities as to letting the staff know what is the top priority to focus on. I think we've kind of used a shotgun approach, and hopefully with this, we can focus in a little bit more and know where we want to work on and spend our efforts.
well, I don't disagree that we've used a shotgun approach in the past, but like I said, I brought pieces of this plan here and showed everyone this was in the plan that you paid for, that you approved, that you voted for, and it goes 7-1 on the vote. So I'm just, it's just a little. I'm a bit jaded, I guess, but I'm all for it. We need to start moving. So.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Anybody from the public? Mr. Catlin,
We have a motion.
I beg your pardon. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Resolution number 5824 has been approved. Next item is Resolution 5825, executing the final Design Engineering Services Supplemental Agreement Number 1 with Snyder and Associates, Inc. for NDOR project number ENH-61056, control number 13127, 2nd Street, Court to Ella Street.
Mayor, I move that resolution number 5825 be passed and adopted.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Rich Kerr, that resolution number 5825 be passed and adopted.
This is part of the agreement having to do with the reconstruction of 2nd Street from Court to Ella. This is the brick project. We're going to pick the bricks up. As part of that project, we found that we had a deficiency in part of the data that we needed, and this is an agreement that Department of Roads put together for the engineers that have been hired to do this job, that be Snyder and Associates, to do some additional geotechnical work through Terracon to come down and do that work. In all honesty, the work's already been done. They did it when they were down here several months ago. NDOR figured out that they needed a supplemental agreement, with the additional cost to the city being about $306.
Any questions?
How far are we gonna go up with that? We decided to
extend that,
This project will go from Court Street to Ella through the
and take the
intersection.
dips out.
Correct.
And then we're going on another block or two?
The city's project is going to go then from Ella to Grant.
Grant, okay.
And timeline is fall of next year.
Yes.
Okay? Any other questions? Anybody from the audience? All right, gentlemen, your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Resolution number 5825 has been adopted. Next item is item C, resolution number 5826, executing the contract for sale of real estate to Rush Creek Construction Incorporated.
Mayor, I move that resolution number 5826 be passed and adopted.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Claybaugh, that resolution number 5826 be passed and adopted.
This was the real estate transaction that we talked about at the last meeting. As you recall, Rush Creek is interested in purchasing 2 lots in the industrial park. Those 2 lots are the 2 that are directly south of Precise Fabrication and just north of Sargent Street. And so before you tonight is the contract for that purchase, and then the next item on the agenda is ordinance 5A, which has to also do with that transaction, so.
Questions? Anybody? Anybody from the audience? All right, your vote, please. And that has been approved 7-0. Resolution number 5826 has been adopted. Next item is an ordinance. Item 5A is ordinance to convey real estate described as Lot 28 and Lot 29, Gage County Industrial Park, Second Edition, to the City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska, owned by the City of Beatrice, to Rush Creek Construction Incorporated.
Mayor, I move that said ordinance be given number 15-017. The title therefore be approved. The rules be suspended and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Kerr, that the ordinance be given number 15-017, title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. The motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 15-017 by number only the first time. Ordinance number 15-017 by number the second time. And ordinance number 15-017 by number only the third and final time.
Mayor, I move that ordinance number 15-017 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Party, that ordinance number 15-017 be passed and approved. Discussion? Any other discussion from anyone? Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 15-017 has been approved. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending Section 9-126 and adding Section 9-127-1 of the Beatrice City Code regarding the sale, possession, and discharge of fireworks, specifically sky lanterns.
Mayor, I move that said ordinance be given number 15-018. The title therefore be approved. The rules be suspended and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Cook, that said ordinance be given number 15-018. The title thereof be approved and rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 15-018 by number only the first time. Ordinance number 15-018 by number the second time. And ordinance number 15-018 by number the third and final time.
Mayor, I move that ordinance number 15-018 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Claybaugh, that ordinance number 15-018 be passed and approved. Discussion.
This item comes from your work session last week. In the resolution, you'll see that we amended section 9-126 to add the definition for sky lanterns. And then section 9-127.1 explicitly makes them illegal inside the city limits.
Anybody have any questions? Anyone from the audience?
Yeah, come on up, Chris.
Mr. Cullison, come on up. If you'd state your name and address, please.
Chris Collison, 1725 Ellis Street. I'm the owner of CNC Fireworks. I'm not here to try to persuade you either way. I'm here to make a couple requests. My first request is that you would allow the state you would allow us to follow the state laws on this. Reason being that it would make it a lot easier for us to know what fireworks we can and cannot purchase. Another reason behind this is that it's going to make, I feel that it would make more work for our law officers having to try to police this. Chances are they're not going to catch the person that released it because it's going to be out of their hands floating off before anybody sees it. But the two requests that I'm making is if you should decide to outlaw the sky lanterns in the state or in the city of Beatrice, that you would allow us to have one more season to deplete our inventory. And the second consideration is to allow them to be used under a public display permit that a licensed pyro would have to be able to put on a show. We have had a couple clientele that have requested these to be used with their wedding fireworks show, and that has been something that has gone off very well without a hitch. My trained people have been the ones that have been releasing them, and we haven't had any issues with releasing them. So that was just a couple of things that I asked that you would take into consideration when deciding on this. So.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Questions or comments?
Chris, when you launch them,
Yes.
do you like follow them till they're down and out then? Or how do you do that?
When properly used, and this is what we tell our customers too before they buy from our stand, to use them correctly, they're the principle of a hot air balloon. You light the fuel pack that's inside of them, and then we have our sky lanterns from our company. I can't speak for the others, but our sky lanterns are a fire-resistant paper with a bamboo structure around it. Okay. So the sky lantern itself is fire retardant, and what I explain to our customers is that you light it and you do not immediately let go. You want to hold the sky lantern until it's wanting to pull itself out of your hands, and what that is ensuring is that it will actually lift up into the air instead of kind of float there, straggling to get up into the air. We also stress that you do not shoot them off or allow them to go off in a high wind situation. They are meant to be set off in a low wind situation. And we also ask them to use common sense. You don't want to do it around trees. You don't want to do it around fields. We are trying to explain this to our customers to help them to become safer when used. Like I said, they are like a hot air balloon. They will travel up in altitude, and then when the fuel is burned up, that is when it'll start to descend, is when the balloon is cooling off. And during that process, the fuel pack is cooling off also to where there's not a fire on it or heat on it. So, does that answer your question? Okay.
Anybody else?
I think we
Dwight?
brought this topic up a couple of years ago, and we was told, oh, let's just wait for the state to put up an ordinance on it. It never does happen. I wouldn't wait anything on the state to pass anything. If we're serious about preventing fires and stuff, I think we need to start here at least.
I think there's 4 communities that have banned them: Lincoln, Hastings,
Waverly.
Waverly, and Omaha.
It just appears to be an accident waiting to happen, and we haven't had a problem yet. We could have had a problem apparently Chief was talking about that if somebody hadn't seen it, go down on top of the roof. In Lincoln, they had a apartment complex that had $270,000 worth of damage. They had a business that it lit on top of its roof and had right under $100,000 worth of damage. So and they're pretty, but this seems like you should have a fire truck following it if you're going to be launching one.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else from the public? Gentlemen, your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 15-018 has been adopted. Next item on the agenda is the public forum. The purpose of the public forum is for the presentation of an item by the general public to the City Council for consideration at a later date. No discussion or action will be taken by the City Council at this time. Any councilman have anything for the public forum? What about the general public? Okay. Next item is discussion and reports, which is item A, approval of public funding request of Gage County Tourism for the Trail of Treasures event.
Mayor, can you do all these at once?
We
No.
put them out separately, that way if you don't like a certain one or want to vote against it, you have the opportunity to do that.
Should put them on the consent agenda, so you can pull them off individually instead, whatever.
Mr. Catlin?
Mayor, I move that the public funding request to Gage County Tourism for the Trail of Treasures event in the amount of $706.25 be approved.
Been moved and seconded by Billsbach. Moved by Catlin, seconded by Billsbach, that the public funding request of Gage County Tourism for the Trail of Treasures event in the amount of $706.25 be approved. Any discussion? Our tourism director is here. How did the event go? Come on up.
Hello.
Hi.
The event was this past weekend and it did very well. All my vendors that I've spoken to so far have told me that they did very well and they're very happy with how it went, and they will definitely be doing it again next year. From last year to this year, we did see an increase in vendors that did participate. I know last year we had probably about 24, and this year we had 30 plus. So I think that's pretty good in my own opinion. And I know I did see a lot of people from Lincoln and Crete come and visit me at the Carnegie building, and also told me that they were going to do the full trail. So
Very good. Any questions?
This
Dwight?
event's already happened, so now we're gonna go back and reimburse.
Yes.
That is what's allowed. That's allowed under the way the policy is written.
I was curious, do any of these vendors collect sales tax and turn it back in? Are they required to?
I guess I do not have knowledge of that. And I don't know how that works, because it's garage sales is what essentially it is. The only thing I could think of is if a business is participating, that we did have businesses that they would have to report the sales tax.
Any other questions? Okay.
It did bring a lot of people. Working, at work from west of Hebron to here, the number of people with trucks and trailers that kept, I was amazed. It did bring a lot of people to the community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Next item is the, yes, sir?
Excuse me, I think we have a little unfinished business. The gentleman asked about some requests that he made for the fireworks. How does he get those requests brought to you, Toby?
Stop down at the office. Stop
Chris,
down at
does
the
that
office.
answer you were sitting back there kind of, and I didn't know what to tell you, so, and I apologize, Mr. Mayor.
All right. That's the only one you get this year.
There you go.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the Night of the Great Pumpkin.
Mayor, I move that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the Night of the Great Pumpkin in the amount of $504.08 be approved.
Second.
Been moved by Catlin, seconded by Kerr, that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the Night of the Great Pumpkin in the amount of $504.08 be approved. Our Main Street Director is in attendance. Michael?
Thank you, guys. Just bringing this forward, as you all know, Night of the Great Pumpkin's been here in our community for a good number of years and brings down several hundred, few thousand people that end up coming downtown from not just our community, but some of the others, and just kind of a great little community event and way to give back to the community in a safe way for kids to go out trick-or-treating before Halloween.
Questions? It's always a popular event.
Great event.
Yeah. Anybody from the audience? All right, your vote, please. And that is approved 6-0 with Councilman Claybaugh abstaining. Next item on the agenda is approval of public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the downtown holiday Christmas lighting maintenance project.
Mayor, I move that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the downtown holiday/Christmas lighting maintenance project in the amount of $725 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved by Catlin, seconded by Cook, that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the downtown holiday Christmas lighting maintenance project in the amount of $725 be approved. Michael?
Yes, as you all know, Beatrice is really quickly becoming known for its Christmas displays and just the different activities going on over the holiday seasons. A lot of this started with the courthouse and J.T. Thornburg with all the lighting projects they've done there. Over the past several years, we've been able to expand that through our downtown area. It doesn't include the entire downtown, but it has slowly been expanding and being upgraded from incandescent to LED. We still have a couple blocks that are incandescent that we have to maintenance until we're hoping here over the next year or so to be able to improve all those to LEDs. It's just part of that. There's always some maintenance that needs to be done to keep these shining brightly for the city of Beatrice. A lot of the lighting was helped by a lot of the businesses, and then we continue to do the maintenance on this to keep it as an asset to the community. And that's just what you see here today.
Mr. Parding?
Who owns the lights?
Who owns the lights?
Store owners or
I'm sorry?
the store owners themselves or?
Yeah, we own ours.
Yeah.
We own ours.
Yeah. Some of these businesses do, some of them don't.
Have we asked the businesses to repair their own lights?
I know that,
Rather than come to the city and ask?
yeah, a lot of the businesses paid for these in full when they put them in. There are some blocks where we have very large participation, and there's some blocks that, for one reason or another, there wasn't much participation in that. Have we ever tried to separate that out and say, hey, Nickel Bank, you owe us for 20 bulbs and this, and then this business over here? We really haven't. It's one of those things where, for economy of it and the size of trying to get the entire downtown done, we've put it all as one
You're
project.
saying it's easier just to ask the city for this money than ask the business to replace their own?
No, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying that it's easier for us as Main Street Beatrice to try and be able to work on this project under one contract with one person doing the repair, one person ordering bulbs and doing all that. And then, yes, we have asked the city for assistance in completing that funding project.
Anything else? Anybody from the audience? All right, gentlemen, your vote, please. And that is approved 5-1, and Councilman Claybaugh is abstaining. Next item is the approval of the public funding request for Main Street Beatrice for the Christmas holiday activities.
Mayor, I move that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for Christmas/holiday activities in the amount of $2,051.70 be approved.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Cook, that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for Christmas holiday activities in the amount of $2,051.70 be approved.
Yes, the Christmas holiday activities, as we were just talking about, Beatrice being known a little bit more for some of those different things. This is our promotions piece and just trying to really highlight Beatrice and the shopping opportunities that are available here, the event opportunities that are available here, keep people here close to home, really encouraging and piggybacking off of the Chamber's efforts and their Buy Local campaign. Those are some of the different things that we do here. Again, as Main Street Beatrice is doing it, it definitely has a downtown emphasis on just trying to hopefully encourage people to find their Christmas gifts and items right here in town. We do have different events that we put on that are also included in this. And there's going to be a nice little addition to events this year. We've got the holiday lighted parade, as was already mentioned by Abby, and some of the different things you guys voted on earlier today. And so it just keeps on expanding each and every year. The biggest single part of this is the little shopper's guide that goes out. It goes out to everyone in the 68310 zip code and has proven to be growing in its success. More and more people are using that. The businesses are seeing a larger and larger return on just folks coming in and actually doing their holiday shopping right here in Beatrice, right here in our downtown, just as a result of knowing what's out there and knowing what's going on. So this has been one of our big pieces in encouraging that buy local, especially during the holiday season.
Any questions for Michael? Dwight?
All right, I guess I'll ask again though, since there's a gift guide and stuff, I'm sure you're advertising places and events. Are we asking these people to actually chip in for this too?
They do, yes. The businesses do pay for their different spots. That ends up paying the businesses themselves, their portion, their match in this ends up paying for the printing of it. Main Street Beatrice, with a lot of the different events that go on with it, and with trying to get it distributed out to residents around this area, is something that Main Street has I guess definitely helped subsidize, and obviously we're asking the city to help us with promoting the different local options in this.
Any other comments? Anyone from the public? And your vote, please. And that is approved 6-0 with Councilman Claybaugh abstaining. All right, Michael, one more. First, hang on. Item E, approval of public funding request for Main Street Beatrice for the Chocolate Lovers Shopping Day Extravaganza.
Mayor, I move that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the Chocolate Lovers Shopping Day Extravaganza in the amount of $647.10 be approved.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Billsbach, that the public funding request of Main Street Beatrice for the Chocolate Lovers Shopping Day Extravaganza in the amount of $647.10 be approved.
Yes, I guess while Christmas is definitely a fun one, and we've been able to hopefully put some more dollars back into this community through that. Here's another event that we've been really pretty fortunate to be able to have in our community. I feel we've seen this no matter whether there's a foot of snow on the ground or it's 70 degrees and sunny outside. There's hundreds of people that fill the downtown streets. Buses, we've had buses stop by and just go around downtown shopping. It's one of those things where it's a chocolate event where there's a little bit of chocolate at all the different participating businesses, but it's really become a lot more than just a let's go get a free piece of chocolate. It really has become a here's my budget for the day, here's the different places I can stop at, here's the coupons I have, here's the different deals that are out there, the different sales, and we've really seen this become a cash register ringing event for our city here, and something that's really been a pleasure to be able to put on and promote to the surrounding communities and draw in some additional shoppers to our downtown area.
I like that, a cash register ringing event.
That it is.
Yeah, I like that.
Claybaugh has homemade chocolate, so we're coming down to visit him.
Any other discussion from anyone? Any questions of Michael?
Just one.
Yes, sir?
All these funds are coming out of that,
The community promotion
Yes,
line
okay.
item in the budget, yes.
And what those requests are is 25% of what the total project cost is, as approved a couple of years ago, I believe it was.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, your vote, please. That is approved 6-0, and Councilman Claybaugh is abstaining. That motion has been approved. I will mention to everyone, our next city council meeting is on October 19th at 7 o'clock in this room. Next item is a executive session, and would like to announce that the city council is going to go into executive session to discuss contract negotiations. Mr. Catlin?
Mayor, I move that the Beatrice City Council go into closed session at 7:39 PM for the protection of public interest to discuss contract negotiations.
Second.
Moved by Catlin, seconded by Kerr. By Kerr. The city council go into executive session at 7:39 PM for the protection of public interest to discuss contract negotiations. Your vote, please. That is approved 6-0. I'm sorry, 7-0.
And then we'll have you guys make the same motion, and
Mr. Mayor, I also request that the board members of the Board of Public Works go into an executive session. Mr. Moran?
I recommend that the Board of Public Works goes into closed session at 7:39 PM also for the protection of public interest to discuss contract negotiations. Thanks. Seconded by Bear, that the Beatrice Board of Public Works goes into closed session at 7:40 for the protection of public interest.
Then moved by Moran, second by Barrow, the Board of Public Works going into closed session at 7:40 for the protection of public interest due to discussion of contract negotiations. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
There will be no action.